most of the animals that we have here that are in enclosures would otherwise not be able to survive. Does that make sense? The cat, dying in the wild. A lot of the orangutans, in 50 years, they probably won't be around. So the only, while it's not the best choice, the only choice for the survival of the species of some of these animals is captivity. So would I rather see them running around on 10,000 acres? Of course. That's not logistically possible.
Do you personally feel these animals have enough space, water, and food to keep them happy?
I absolutely do. Happy is very much a human term, but if I had to say if they were happy, I would say yes. Otherwise, I really couldn't come to work every day.
Do you think that their environment is stimulating them?
Stimulating them. That's a very good question. We do our best. We feel it's our responsibility since we have these animals. None of our animals were taken from the wild. Okay, they're all captive bred. We didn't go get them from the wild. They're all captive bred. Am I talking to you or this? Oh no. No. You'll figure it out. We do our best to stimulate them because we feel it's our, since we have accepted the role of caregiver for these animals, it's our job and our responsibility to provide them with enough stimulation to keep their brains focused on some things. Like the apes, the orangutans, for example, are extremely intelligent. So we have to change the dome they're in, the stuff on the ground they can forage through on a daily basis, sometimes on an hourly basis. Otherwise, you know, they just sit around and look at the same stuff. Also, what else? Some other stuff that helps stimulate them is you guys, is the people coming through to look at them. It's something different for them to experience. So.
And if you could, what would you do to make this environment a much more comfortable place for these animals to live in?
This environment, I'm not sure we can improve the environment that we have. But anyone who takes care of animals, whether it's in a zoological setting or private, most of them really want their animals to have as much space and as much room as possible. So if we could, we would not have them, you know, not have their native environment or natural habitat being destroyed. I mean, that's like, I go back to the orangutans all the time in tigers, but that's the main reason they are going toward extinction, because their natural habitat is being destroyed by humans. So we would, personally, I would say, forget all that and let's just let them live where they can live instead of destroying them.
And if you could, what would you change to make the animals happier?
Do what?
Similar.
I have no idea what I would do to make them again, happy is such a human term. More content, maybe a better way to describe it. But I have no idea what I've never thought about it, because the animals that we have here, we do our very best to keep them content and keep them satisfied and keep them stimulated. So I really haven't thought about what else we could do more or better, because I think that we do a pretty good job of it.
Do you like working with animals? Why or why not?
Say that last part again?
Why or why not?
Do I like working? Of course I like working with them. They're fantastic. That's why I chose this profession. Why? I really couldn't tell you why. I just have always had a connection to animals. I always liked being around animals, whether it's a dog or a cat, or a lemur or a bird. I just think they're fascinating creatures, and I'd like to be around them as much as I can. I couldn't tell you why. It's kind of weird, but that's how I feel.
Do you feel that animal captivity is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think like with everything, it's got its pros and cons. If it's done in a correct manner, sometimes it's the only viable option left for animals. You wouldn't want to keep a tiger, for example, in a 10 by 10 thing. It's not really good. So it's a situational kind of thing. If the animal has no choice to be extinct or be in captivity, unfortunately, captivity is the way to go.
And I have one last question from me.
I hope those are all from you.
They're from all of us.
Oh, they're from all of you guys. Okay, good.
Do you ever take the animals out or like they would go out?
What do you mean, like out and about?
No, just like from like you ever out, like pet them.
Me personally,
Yeah.
as many of them as we can. The lemurs, we actually had the baboons out. I think I used to take the warthog out before he got really big. So, and a lot of times with some of the animals, we do it when the public's not here. The baboons, for example, they trust us, but it's not really safe to be on a public. We let them out on a leash and let them roam around and do some stuff like that. Certain animals we do, as many of them as we can. All right?
And one question for me.
Oh, good.
Do they ever escape?
Ever escape?
Yes.
Well, we try not to let that happen. But since there's humans involved, there's human error, and we have made some mistakes, as have almost every zoological institution. So we don't have that happen on a regular basis.
Okay. Thank you.
You guys aren't very tough. You guys let me off the hook too much. What about you? You got a question? No, you sure?